right, in that moment for yourself and start asking yourself, hey, is this working? Is this what's working and what's not working, right? You need that level of assessment for yourself. And what I realized for myself was that, hey, you need to lean into the process of developing into whatever it is that you want to develop into, right? And the moment I begin to lean into the process, what happened was it removed all the expectations. I think expectations create anxiety, and a lot of
Mm,
other unnecessary stresses in the world, right? And so, being an entrepreneur, a speaker, podcaster, there's a lot of things that you want to make happen, right? And pulling back from those expectations and leaning into the process. How do I do this better? How do I get better? What's some things that I can change up? You know, really help me navigate this space, man, these past few weeks. So that's where I'm at with it, fellas. About for me, it's always about growth, man. How can I grow? How can I get better?
absolutely. Yeah. If you're not doing that, then you're gonna get ran over. You're
That
not doing
part.
that.
That part. And this is a culture and like this is a culture when you're really developing and you're in your passions, you actually connect with like-minded
Hmm.
energy, and the Latin again, I don't want to say too much because things are in the process. So again, I met an individual, treated this individual like I treat everybody else. And I'm just in my natural zone. I'm just in my natural element, doing what I do. Just so happens he's connected to something in a similar format, helping the underserved, putting people in employment. And in that transaction, and that, but the funny thing was, let me go back to the point, was that it's just going to happen when energies connect. And when you're in your constant authenticity, you're going to connect with others who are in that same vibration. And you don't give it no expectation, you allow it to grow to be what it is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, because your expectations might come with a cat, and they're trying to go ruthless.
You say yours come with a cap and they trying to go ruthless. That's what's up. So listen, tonight, guys. Listen, I want to talk about uh, getting better. How do we get better, right? John Maxwell always talk about growth from the perspective of being intentional. You got to be intentional in your growth. What do you? I want you guys to just let's talk about that real briefly. Tell me what do you think it takes from you to grow into the person you desire to be?
I'll say the first thing,
Ownership.
ownership of being who you are, right? Acceptance, and we kind of like been dancing around with it, the authenticity thing,
Hmm.
right? Understand who you are and not wanting to be. You can admire things about other people, but not wanting to be that person, not coveting what that person have, and who that person is. Taking ownership, Shay, and understanding you were you. You were put in this place to be you and to bring things that other people cannot bring because they're not you. So we are to inject our DNA into this world, like into this old equation of life. It's up to us to be who we are and who we called to be. I think that's the first step.
Hmm. I like that. Ownership. Talk to me, Shay.
Now you heard what I said. I said at the same time, ownership, and not just own, and not just. I mean, complete ownership and understanding that this is what it takes, owning the good, the bad, the ugly, without trying to give it a picture, a name, an essence. Just accept it, because in that acceptance we grow. In that acceptance, no matter what it is, when I don't put my personality and my emotions in it and just accept what it is, here's where I'm going to grow. And this is where I say you have to own it. Because if you listen to everybody, if you get caught up with everybody's distraction, you're going to stop at every single moment. These people like being distracted all day.
So what's that ownership look like? What is it to take ownership is one thing. What's that look like? How do I guess I'm thinking like what's the process to take ownership? Like what do I have to do to take ownership?
Well, one, like for example, we all, as Shay was sharing earlier, kind of his story. We all have our story, right? So instead of it being his story, it be our story. You get me? His story is from a third person's perspective. Our story, that's first person. That's me telling my narrative. That's me learning from my experiences. Did I answer your question?
So we have to learn from our experiences, what you're saying, to be able to tell a story. But what?
Absolutely. But one, accept our story, learn from them, and the lessons that we get from them allow us to share our narrative. So someone can learn, someone won't fall in the same ditches that we fell in. Someone can learn from our experiences. So instead of, if someone is looking at me, instead of trying to be like me, here, I'm giving them the cheat code to be better than me because I'm sharing my story. At the same time,
but what if your story don't
go ahead?
I didn't mean to step on you.
Yeah, but at the same time, me sharing my story, that is actually therapeutic for me. So it'll help me it will prevent me from reliving and falling back into the same traps. I'm reminding myself of the traps that I fell in, and assuring that I don't go backwards.
How is that? Because sometimes people still go backwards. I can share my story. I can tell you my challenges, but along the way, I might have a pitfall, a hiccup along the way, and find myself back where I started from.
Right. And that's where development got to constantly, personal development, that's an ongoing thing. It's a constant. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a constant. So yes, if you stand in the ocean, we all been, I'm assuming we all been at the shore. You stay in the ocean, and you ever feel yourself you just standing there in the sand, and the water coming, and you just slowly feel yourself drifting, slowly drifting, and you just standing there. Why? Because everything else is moving. But if you just standing in one place, everything is going to go by you. Like a mentor told me, opportunity is never missed. It will just simply pass you by.
So in essence, there's a growth process.
It's always a growth process.
Yeah, and that's the piece.
Especially with ownership. Because ownership is taking full responsibility for your actions, decisions, and outcomes.
Yeah, that's good, but to the natural ear, that's like, what's that supposed to mean to me? How do I grow myself? Is, I guess, where I think it originally starts, right? And so when we what's that growth for you? How did you get where you are to be able to say, this is what I want to do? This is the lesson I learned, and this is how I want to help other people, impact other people's lives. What was the growth process for you?
Oof. The personal growth processes. Because owning it does it. Ownership comes with challenges, because ownership is going to hurt.
Well, I don't think you ever stop having your fleet of challenges.
Mm-hmm. But when you own it, and when you take it as yours, instead of blaming it on other people, or blaming it on whatever caused your trauma, whatever caused your anxiety, instead of blaming it on that and just taking ownership and said, I played this part.
So here's my
forward.
question. What do you have a growth plan? Like, do you have a personal development growth plan? And if so, what is that plan to help you grow and navigate to this space to get better?
There has to be a time of day for mindfulness. There has to be a time of day for something something new injected in the day. And when I say something new, a new topic, and not even a topic I might stick with, but just a new fun fact for the day. A time to take a walk is mandatory. A certain time to drink a certain amount of water. Yeah, some things are very regulated when you start taking ownership.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, so you think of like, well, I'm gonna just self-reflect, right? In the course of a day, right? So I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a day of that's when I wake up, I acknowledge how I woke up, right? The Creator woke me up. Right? I acknowledge that. I spend my time with, through prayer and meditation. That's how I start the day. That's part of my development, right? I'm depositing something in me because this day is going to take something out of me. Like we all know, life is not fair, right? Life wants its just due. Life is going to take what it want to take. So to combat that, I have to constantly be in development mode, constantly. So I'm gonna start my day off with development mode. I'm gonna have my prayer, my meditation. I'm gonna read my devotionals, right? So I'm going in strong, right? In the midst of that, I have people I can talk to, accountability partners, like you guys. I can lean on you guys, and you guys gonna tell me what I need, not what I want to hear. You're gonna tell me what I need to hear, right? I have my the brother of my father, my uncle, and we talk almost every morning, and we bouncing ideas off of it, right? And which is and very inspirational, right? So I'm going in on fire. If he's not available, then I'm listening to something on the way to work that's inspiring, that's depositing positive energy, positive thoughts in my mind, right? And then so by the time I go and I start my day, my work day, bring it on.
You ready
Bring
to
it
go?
on. I got my armor on.
Yeah.
Some battles I could win, some battles I can't win. And some of the things that's distracting my energy and my some of my positivity. But I got enough in me where you're not going to deplete me.
Yeah. So that's exactly what was looking for. Like, what's the growth process? I think so many men, we get to this place, right? And we focus on the goal. We focus on the goal, and we so one track minded to reach the goal that we don't think about doing the work on ourselves. What will it take to do the work on you to become and navigate this space of being the better person? Here's something that I read. You can focus on growth, and I mean, you can focus on the goal and you'll reach that goal. You'll obtain that goal. However, if you focus on growth, growing yourself, identifying the behaviors, identifying the challenges, developing your emotional intelligence, identifying areas how you can communicate better. As you grow yourself, not only will you grow and get better, but you will also reach your goal, right? And so sometimes I think we get so one side tracked, or one mind. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use here. We get so focused on one thing, one center focused on one thing, and it's about the goal. But at the end of the day, you can reach the goal and still have brokenness in your life because you never did the work to get better personally. You didn't do the personal development piece. You didn't spend time in mindfulness, Shay. You didn't spend time in prayer or meditation. You're not connecting with maybe other like-minded individuals. You're not reading anything to add value to your life, right? And I share this because I like to talk about this. My clients, right? I like to talk about my clients, right? So I was working with Isaiah, right? And Isaiah, outgoing, people person. He loved to communicate, easily connect with people, passionate, very highly optimistic. But then the opposite end of Isaiah is he lacked follow through. He's a procrastinator. He's talking about what he wants to get done and not accomplishing it. Matter of fact, if it get too overbearing, he'll quit on it. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's so many people, men, in this place, and we're there because we're focused on the goal and not the growth aspect of life.
So if I'm reading this correctly, would this be an illustration of what you're talking about? I'm doing some amazing things in the community, embraced everywhere I go. I have so many accolades, but when I come home, it's cold. Right?
Broke it.
It's a cold place.
Yeah.
Where home should be warm.
Yeah.
And cozy.
Yeah.
But it's a cold place.
Yeah.
Is that an example of what you're speaking of?
Yeah, that's a real good example. And it's cold because you're disconnected from the people that you love the most.
Right.
Because your focus is on the goal. Let me back this up when I start telling my.
Right.
Go ahead, Shay.
Now I was just going to play devil's advocate for a minute, because sometimes in your growth, you're building new skills, you're building new language, you're building new abilities, and you can't stay stuck with people who are not growing. So sometimes you just outgrow the relationship, even if they are blood, your family, whatever. Sometimes you outgrow the relationship because you can't get stuck if you plan to grow your own family.
True. But I would say that is true. I mean, everybody can't go with you.
No, everybody can't go with you. But I think I don't think it's about taking people with you. I think it's more about focusing on you.
No, I'm not saying taking people with you. Some people you just have to let go because you're not speaking the same conversations and languages anymore. So, and that's where it just ends. And it's not on a bad note, it's just we're not there anymore. And that even happens with family members. Like, I get it. You're on your road, I'm on my road. We're not there. Catch you at a Thanksgiving.
So let me go back to the beginning when I started, when I was talking about expectations and where I am now when I finally realized to lean into the process, right? My client Isaiah is actually me. That's me. He's just my avatar. The description I gave, being outgoing, loving people, connect with people very easy. However, there were some limitations, procrastination, lacking follow through, not being able to complete the task that you started. I literally had to stop and say to myself, hold on. I'm not growing here. What's happening here? Something's missing that's causing me not to go any further. And I realized for myself was that I had too many expectations that were creating a lot of anxiety for me. And because of the expectations, some of the comparison piece, which you talked about, taking ownership, but the opposite end of taking ownership, Saeed, you kind of tapped on, is you comparing yourself around other people, and these things I believe it limits your growth. And we had to get to this place, my point being, is to learn to lean into the process of growing into, if that makes sense, right? So to that point, Shay, we were talking earlier, and I said, just start. Remember, I was saying, just start. What I was really saying was lean into trusting that you got everything you need to be successful in the realm or level you desire to be in, but you have to trust the process to get there. And sometimes we're focused on the goal. We focus on the goal, getting the end result before we take the initiative to grow ourselves. So I believe that you grow into the person you want to be, right? I don't think you wait to become the person you need to be to do the thing that you want to do. Here's something, let me share this with you.
Say that last statement again.
Say that again.
Say that last statement you said again.
What did I say? Somebody got a record button. Hit rewind for me, Shay. What did I say?
Yeah.
I think I said I don't. What did I say? I think you grow into. This is where I said I think you grow into the person you desire to be. Right? Did I say that? That's what I said, right? Y'all looking at me.
Yeah, you said something about you gotta do something.
I'm just going to shake my head up and down. Yo, I thought I caught it until you questioned it, and then I said, "What did he say?"
Something about growing.
And then when he could have repeated, I was like, just shake
It was
your
something
head.
about basically doing something about doing or being who you need to be before you grow into who you want to be. Something on those lines.
I think you lean into the process of growing into
Right.
who you need to be versus waiting to become who you need to be to do the thing that you want to be doing. And I think most of us are waiting to become something when the truth is you should lean into the process and develop into.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I got you. I got you.
And
I
so,
got you. It's almost like
I got
a snowball sitting at the top of a mountain, and it's just sitting there. Snow is falling, and it's sitting there. While it may be changing, transforming because snow is falling and adding to it, but it's getting bigger, but it's getting stuck there.
yeah,
But if you push it, which is starting, that snowball will start to grow as it's going down the hill, right? But it's
mm-hmm,
doing it with work because it's
mm-hmm,
started. But if we stay somewhere too long, we get stuck and we acquire so much knowledge. That's like us reading a book but not putting the book into action. Your
yeah,
book that you writing, Shade, that you completing, it's like me reading your book and like, oh man, this is fire. I like this, and I see myself in it. And this is it's charging me to do carry out with my goals and do what I want to do, but I don't do anything. I'm harnessing that knowledge,
yeah, yeah,
but
and
I'm not putting it to
Yeah.
work.
yeah,
And it's crazy because I was just telling somebody today, dude, there is a fallacy in a statement that people believe is true, and people believe that knowledge is power, and no, it's
Right.
not. Because I've seen quite a few people study some things and sat on it, did nothing with it. And this is where I correct the sentence and say applied knowledge is power.
Correct.
Hold on for 1 second. Go ahead, Boo.
Shade, I could just let me just close you out. Is that better? That's all you got to do, man. You mess. Say, you just say, D, close my screen out. That way, see how we
Oh
do?
man, look, he could have
Hold
just
on.
yeah.
Did you see that, Shade?
Camera off.
Yo, my daughter's laughing in the
Hold
bathroom
on,
right
Shade.
now.
Let me show you again. Let me show you. Watch the screen, Shade. Watch this. Boom. Boom.
Caught up in the conversation. I just seen the camera. I said, go for it.
Don't be messing up my video, man.
I start looking for buttons. You know what I'm about to do? Okay, where is this? What's going on? I get impressed when I turn the computer on. Okay, so
you
come on.
can't make this up. You can't make this up.
I got you, Cub. Next time,
Hold on a second.
say
You
D,
know,
kill my. You can. I think you can control your camera. You can just cut your camera.
yeah, I can, but dude, I would have had to put on my glasses. When all I could do too is this. I'm good.
There you go.
That's what's up. Hey, we
Oh,
learning, baby.
man.
We learning. We learning.
So
Got it. I tell you, I got it now. You know, I got the glasses.
there we
I can
go.
see it. All right.
There we
But
go.
this was faster. I'm not going to rely on technology for practical answers.
No, that's what's up. So here is a quote by James Allen. James Allen said this: "People are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are often unwilling to improve themselves, and therefore they still remain stuck. They still remain bound. You know."
These people, go. I'm sorry.
And so I'm like, I'm navigating this space, and I'm saying to myself, you know, what are some of the limiting beliefs that we have about growing and reaching our goals? Did you hear what I said? Growing and reaching our goals, not just reaching our goals, because we often focus on just reaching the goal and we leave out this aspect to grow.
You know, it
There's a
reminds me of
different, I think there's a different result between just reaching your goal versus growing and reaching your goal. My bad, Sai. Go ahead.
absolutely. No, it's all good. It reminds me of when I was reading Kingonomics, and it talked about character. And so instead of, and I had to check myself as a teacher, instead of saying, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Right? I need to ask, what type of character you want to be when you grow up. right? So being respectful. If we focus on being respectful, then whatever that desire, that career, that vocation you want to take on, that's going to come because you being respectful will invite those type of people in your place, in your space.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
good.
so
And I love that you said that, because most of the most of the content that I share with my clients and trying to position them in the job market is your success. Your success is going to match your character, because you're not going to get anything put. You're not going to be able to get value from anything that unless you first put value in you. And
So
putting value in you means your skills, knowledge, and abilities need to rise up with your education, experience, and expertise. And then when you're able to articulate and verbalize it well, then with concise and clear language, then that's a growth process automatically.
that's a textbook.
Yeah.
That's a textbook. No, that's good though.
I
That's
got
real
it in the
good.
secrets.
That's good. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, how do we grow? You know, if we don't grow our character, we don't grow into the persons that we want to. I think that that growth, and as well as moving in that pivotal direction to reach that goal, I really believe that's a different beast. I don't even know if I should use that word, but that's a different beast that you develop into as the best version of you.
mhm. And I think that's why we have some of the problems that we have now with high price athletes and entertainers and things like that. They being rewarded for um, their talent,
Yeah.
and their talent is overshadowing character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can have someone who, well, we truly lost our way. You can have someone who have a song, shoot 'em up, and I do this to her, and she's a this and she's a that, and here, you stand on the stage holding up a gold trophy, and you being acknowledged, and you're considered great.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the ears that your lyrics have fell on has been tampered with,
Yeah.
and now you done challenged the good morals and the values that this child has grown up with. You challenged it and caused some major conflict.
Mhm.
You infiltrated somebody's home,
Yeah.
right? Versus your content being the total opposite, and your lyrics are uplifting, it's encouraging, is promoting education, and you didn't contribute to somebody's home.
Yeah. That's
Because
good.
I run a workshop 2 nights a week on just employment readiness. And besides the interview, the application, besides that process, I actually have a good maybe 40% of my workshop based on building character and leadership skills, and in reinforcing the fact that you don't go nowhere trying to stay the same, or don't complain about the money you're going to collect being the same. Because in order to position yourself well in this market, you're going to constantly keep on building your skills up. It's called skill stacking for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the age of AI, when they're now taking away jobs.
AI ain't taking away nobody's job. Stop that, bro.
Automation and AI is absolutely taking people's jobs.
Is it really?
Absolutely. If you check in the digital market right now,
Mm-hmm.
they just laid off like 3,500.
I don't know if that was a wise choice. AI great, but it ain't that good. It can't feed the emotional piece. And I think
But that's why soft skills is building in the job market.
yeah, and you need I think you need that emotional piece where you talk about
Mhm.
making more money.
Mhm.
You make more money not because you got more education. You make more money because you set yourself apart as a leader.
Mhm.
You know.
And
So go ahead, brother.
here's another fact. Here's another fact. A survey took over 2,500 hiring managers, and it gave them a question who they were hiring, who they're hiring on the top of their list. And it wasn't people with skills that they were hiring above everybody else. It was people with emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because the science behind that is I could teach you any kind of skill. I can't teach you emotional intelligence.
Right.
No, you got to acquire that for yourself, and this is that
That
growth period.
part.
That's
And
the
in the
growth
marketplace,
piece.
this is what's now being demanded for people who want to position themselves up.
Yeah, this is that growth piece we're talking about.
Yeah.
So here it is. I'm gonna throw out four. I think four. What I want to call these. We call them blind spots, right? Y'all know what blind spots are, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we call them blind spots, right? And so I'm gonna throw out four blind spots, and I just want you guys to take maybe 60, 90 seconds and tell me what comes to mind when you think of this blind spot, and how do you navigate that space for yourself. Okay,
Mhm.
y'all ready? First blind spot, the blind spot of assumption or assuming. I'm just gonna assume that I'll grow and get better.
That'd be called the assumption gap.
Uh-huh.
So automatically, and I remember John Maxwell talked about the assumption gap and just assuming and why it's out of for growth. That's the worst way to try to do it because you're assuming you know a position, but you have no idea what that position is connected to, the culture, the value system, the principles. It's just an assumption. So when you make moves and assumptions, you're pretty much just deciding to play checkers and giving them pieces.
Mm.
You playing checkers and giving them pieces.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me, Saeed.
I look at
That's
it from
good, Shade. That
perspective
was good though.
to the best of my ability, I want to dictate what happens to me in my life, right? To the best of my ability. If I live on assumptions, I'm allowing other things to dictate. Well, I'm positioning myself to let other things dictate me in my life because I didn't do my research. I didn't do my personal development. So I may be walking into a situation where it's not favorable for me because I assumed. So, like for example, let's say in the speaking space, if I'm if I'm going to if I'm going to speak to a company, speak and do a training for a company, I'm going to ask some questions beforehand
Mm.
so I know what I'm walking into.
Go, little
Mhm.
girl. Go.
But if I go, good
Let's
job,
go.
Shade. Good job. See, Shade has because of his personal development, now he's able to click that button.
Hey, he ain't got to assume no more, huh?
No. You
Got
That's
me.
learn
good.
from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes.
You know I'm a
But
quick learner. I was born last night, but I studied all day.
but if I'm speaking for a company, I'm doing a training, I'm going to ask some questions You know, what are some what are some pain points? What's some things that you think I need to focus on the most? What I need to focus on the most to so this can be a worthwhile experience, right? Instead of me just going in and saying, "Oh, you know, I'm going to kill this thing. I'm going to do a phenomenal job," and I go pull up my screen and it's not relative to the group. I have later this month, in a couple of weeks, I got to do a training for the Girl Scouts, Girl Scouts of America, and you best to believe when I go in there, it's going to be able to connect with those girls.
Come on, congratulations! You're gonna try to slide that in there. You look at him, Shay, like you with your book. You try to just slip it in there. He's going to talk to the Girl Scouts. He ain't said nothing about that in the beginning, in the opening. Come on.
But I'm just saying that's an example, right? That's an example.
We just throwing it by. The book's coming out.
Oh boy, yo, you guys are
Just
funny.
a little bit of shade.
That's good. So, did you finish your point, Saeed?
Yeah, we're
before
good.
we good? Yeah.
I think it's clear.
It's real clear, right? No, man. But
Yeah.
that assumption gap, that blind spot, I think it limits a lot of people because we simply assume that we grow into the people that we desire to be. And I don't think we grow into it. I think you have to do the work, be intentional about that growth, please. Stop waiting to be the man that you desire to become and start being that person is what I love to tell men, man. So here's my next limitation, the timing limitation or the timing gap, meaning that it's just not the right time for me to do what I want to do just yet.
Or trying to wait for the perfect time that never comes. And it's amazing because there's a lot of people that use that one actually. Well, I don't got this in play. I don't got that in play. I don't got this in play. And you ask them, okay, so what do you have in play to reinforce what the next step is? There's nothing behind that. They're actually just waiting for the stars to align and Jehovah, Jesus, and Buddha to meet up right in the center.
None of them gonna meet together.
None of them gonna meet together, bro.
It's gonna be God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. That's the line.
I mentioned 2-3 different religions when I talked about them.
That's what's up. Talk to me, Saeed, about the timing gap, brother.
Oh man. Oh, we're an interesting crew, man. Yeah.
More to come.
Timing, you got to constantly be moving. We have to constantly be moving. We can't, some people say, hey, stay still and allow things to take place. Yeah, but you still got to be moving. Meaning, if I'm going to stay still and let things take place, best to believe I'm studying and analyzing. I'm a verb. I gotta be doing something.
You're
something
action
productive.
taker. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I think sometimes when we say, hey, stay still, don't do anything. Stay still and do anything. So you tell me to shut down. You tell me to close my eyes, close my ears, and don't do anything. No, I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm observing. I'm studying. I'm analyzing. So when it's time for me to make my move, I'm making the right move at the right time.
That's good. That's real good. Here's a riddle for you. 5 frogs sitting on a log. 4 decide to jump off. How many frogs are left?
As you were speaking, I was just thinking of good time I had frog legs. I counted at least 10. Love that Louisiana frog leg. Because whatever we say, he's trying to walk us into something. I'm gonna let him walk.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm gonna ruin
So-
it before we do it.
And I got my answer, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
What's
he
your
got
answer?
something behind
What's the answer?
that. Repeat it again.
Okay.
So here we go. 5 frogs sitting on a log. 4 decide to jump off. How many frogs are left?
1.
Jay?
I'm still thinking about fried frog legs, bro.
That's what's up.
Not gonna get the answer.
I mean,
Shady.
the logic behind it is right. 5 frogs sitting on a log. 4 decide to jump off. Of course, 5 from 4 leave us 1. Here's the problem with this. There's a difference between deciding and doing. And if we keep waiting for the right time, we could be deciding all for 10 more years. We could be deciding for 30 more years, you know? And I just wonder how long we want to stay in this making this indecisive spot or this decision-making spot without taking action on the things that's most important to us. Listen, one more gap, and it's the comparison gap or limitation.
Oh, no, there's so many things to talk about comparison and how that's going to hurt you, especially in the job market. Because trying to compare yourself automatically, trying to compare yourself to someone, especially to somebody else's success. Dude, this rattles me a little bit because I'm like, dude, the only reason people become jealous, envious, or insecure is because you're comparing yourself to their situation.
Mhm.
But you haven't walked their road. You don't know what dues they paid. You don't know how much work they put in to get that success. You're just automatically in this negative zone. Whatever it is, hating, jealousy, insecurity, envy, they're all the same negative pit, you know. And that's all that comparison does. And when you're being your authentic self, who are you comparing yourself to?
Right.
When you're
How would you know?
operating an authentic self, who are you trying to compare yourself to? The only thing I'm trying to get to is who I am tomorrow, and not really who I was yesterday.
How do you know you are your authentic self? How do you know you're operating from that authenticity that you talk about?
Because it's an individual thought, individual mind, individual plan that's coming together, serving my purpose as me. There's no other shade. As me, operating at a maximum level.
Serving your purpose or God's purpose?
They're both the same.
Are they?
Yes.
Tell me more.
For us who practice ancestral veneration.
Okay, talk to me. Ancestral
veneration. Honoring your ancestors. So your whole entire DNA is your whole entire makeup of your ancestors. You're one with that.
So
just like you're one with your God.
So I mean, I know where you're going with this, and it makes sense. But sometimes I'm gonna play devil advocate just a tad bit.
In my culture, we don't even know who the devil is. It's non-existent.
Well, they're not. I'm gonna be your opposition right now. Then.
Just say that.
I'll be your opposition right now. Then. So think about this. You know, it's in our DNA. So we much like our ancestors. So I'm much like my dad. But my dad
is not your dad. Your dad is your parent. He's not your only ancestor.
No. You didn't let me finish. Yeah.
Okay.
But because I'm thinking DNA. I'm just trying to unpack this just a little bit. So help me with this one, Shay. I'm much like my dad, hypothetically. This is not necessarily true, but just hypothetically. He's a drunk, so I should be a drunk because it's in the DNA.
I don't know where you're going with that. That's not what I'm saying.
That's why I'm
About
asking. That's why I'm
I'm
asking.
talking about your genetic code that is a physical essence that you look at every day in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Is your ancestral line as well. And you are you're your ancestors' greatest version.
Okay. Because a lot of times we say, people come with this notion like I'm much like my dad, or I'm much like my mom. We pick up these characteristics of them, and I when you said that, that's what I was thinking. That's why I asked that question.
And when you really accept ancestral veneration, you're all of everything of your ancestors, because not every single one of your ancestors were benevolent. Not every single one of your ancestors were good. You had some pieces of what it is in the family. And this is how you break generational curses. You choose not to live up to how they lived up to their responsibilities.
So,
And I'll give
so
you an
then,
example that my father was a drunken womanizer and beat his wife and tried to kill me in the process. He was every time he got drunk, put hands on everything. Everything. Not one of my kids could ever say I could even raise my voice at them at times.
so that's the point
Or
I'm
put
making.
hands on them. That's how you practice generational curses.
That's the point I'm
Breaking
making.
generational curses.
That's the point I'm making, Shay. Right there is what you just said. My example was, I'm like my dad. He was a drunk. If
I
that's
didn't say I'm like my dad. I said I broke my dad's curse from what he what he demonstrated every day to me. My kids never even seen his spirit.
Yeah. So we won't. I won't tap into that because I'll go a little deeper in my thought process. I won't touch it.
Oh, I know my faith. We could go deep.
No. This ain't the religious show. Plus, we out of time too. We out of time. Talk to me, Saeed. Comparison gap, my man. What's that for? Don't do that.
Oh boy. Yeah. Just kind of, and you guys kind of tapped on it. Knowing your true self. Not studying other people, but studying yourself. Right. Or no, you can study other people, but don't study other people more than you study yourself. Right. You have to know you. We talk about the emotional intelligence. Like you have to have that self-assessment. You have to have self-talk with yourself. I call it Spider-Man talk. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, you know Spider-Man always talking to himself and trying to rationalize certain things that's going on, decisions he's making. It's important you have to do that. All right. Master or harness the power that you have inside of you so you can know how to utilize it. Right. Our superpower the superpowers that resonate inside of us, understanding that. The gift that we were given or the talent that we were given, knowing how to utilize that. Yeah. But if you weren't about other people, then you will never be able to do those things. You will never know yourself. And before you know it, you're having a midlife crisis. I think I shared with y'all some time ago how I went to school for carpentry. Everybody said, "Hey, you go into carpentry, you could build your own house, you can make a lot of money," and it was like, "Oh yeah," and that's what I went and did, realizing, it's not for me. Eject. Nope. I'm going to try something else because that's what I wanted to do. Because I knew being a carpenter wasn't me.
You sound like me with mechanic work. I couldn't stand it. take my car to the shop. I ain't trying to change no brakes. Don't ask me to change the oil.
Yo, I had a job for that lasted about 20 minutes, and I just knew I was never going to do this again.
What was you doing?
I tried to do landscaping and push a mower and the weed whacker. Yo, by in this hot Atlanta sun.
Ooh, Atlanta.
Yo, I said, yo, I'm going to pay you to fire me. I'm out of here, bro.
You walked out on the job, Shay.
Oh man, and this is why I tell my clients now, look, check this out. There's a difference in having an occupation you love and taking on a job. You know what I'm saying? And when I took on the job, I showed exactly how I felt about the job. See you later, bye. And I was a kid too. I was, right before the Marine Corps. Nah, this is killing me. Thank God for the Marine Corps.
But that's why when I talk to young people and we're talking about career options or they'll say, hey, I need a job. I'll be like, what do you want to do? I'll take anything.
Oh,
no, that's not the answer for me. What do you really want to do?
Most people don't know what they really want.
And that's a fact. You know how many people come in my office and I ask them, okay, so what are you interested in getting yourself into? Anything that pays me. Oof.
Yeah. Anytime they speak like that, that's because I think they just lack clarity. And oftentimes,
or they are afraid to pursue the passion that they have.
I don't think they know the passion. I don't think many people know the passion. I think sometimes, especially when you think about the community people that we're talking about too, right? They in transition, they desperate, they just need some money in their pocket. And so at that moment in time, anything suffices. They haven't considered the weight of their options. They haven't considered what they were good at. They just want to go to work so they can get a check in the next 7 to 10 days and start feeling better about themselves, So yeah, that can be a big challenge though. All right, guys, that's it. Says the clock on the wall, man. Sum us up tonight, Shay. Talk to us, close us out.
Tonight, may everybody be blessed. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Have your thoughts on you, your loved ones, your family, and your ancestors, and continue dominating the day.
Good stuff. Sai, you look like you wanted to say something.
Always think about growth, not being stagnant and just letting time and opportunities slip by. Always be in the process of growing and being the best you that you can be. Be inspired. Be motivated to go out there and change the world. Like I was created to change the world. That's what my motto. I was created to change the world.
Why you got the slash in the middle?
Just adding some character to it. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But I was created to change the world, and truly, I really believe that we all have a part to play in this thing, and if you don't play your part, then there's going to be something missing. Right? We all have our piece in this grand scheme of things. We're a piece of the puzzle, and it's nothing like putting together a puzzle and not having the last piece that you need.
I hate that. I don't even like putting puzzles together, but to get to the end and don't have the final piece.
And then it usually be a piece in the middle that it couldn't even be the corner piece or the up top piece, the borderline. I could have covered that up, but you got to be dead center.
That's what's up.
You know what I think too is because puzzles, you know, it takes a while to put together, especially if you're doing the 5. And I haven't did a puzzle pieces in a minute, but a 500 piece, 1,000 piece, or the building pieces. Oh, dude, they're not a 1, 2, 3 hour thing. I had to space that, and then by the time I get to the day I want to finish it, there's always a piece missing, a critical piece missing.
How long it take you to do a 500-piece puzzle?
Oh, that'd be 2 days, depending on depending if that's my work day or my off day.
2 days?
Yeah,
Bro, you sit with a puzzle for 2 days?
yeah. Just, but first of all, like, dude, come on, let's not act like puzzles. You gotta figure out, okay, how's this shape fit anywhere else with what piece?
No, he's
You
saying
know?
it because that's a remarkable thing. Like for you to be able to do that in 2 days.
No, I've seen guys like get it knocked out in a couple of hours. I just
What's the strategy behind putting a puzzle together in 2 days? Because a 500-piece
mostly
puzzle.
start at the borders. You put the border together and work your way in. That's my personal.
How many puzzles you done put together, Shay?
Oh, dude, I stopped a while ago, but oh, hold on for a minute. Go ahead.
We're gonna get that bruh office.
I can't stand.
We'll get you an office.
You know, it's about it. I to tell you the truth, I have gone on to like strategy games and left puzzles alone.
Mhm.
But in my life while I was doing it, oof, I could say a couple of hundred.
Really? How
yeah,
many puzzles you work on, Saeed? How many puzzles you done did in your life? I could probably count on my hand. I might have done 5, and they was less than 50 pieces.
No, yeah, my puzzles, they track my kids' development, then you can track the puzzles that I have put together. And last time I put puzzle together. So, at what age do a kid typically find themselves not interested in doing a puzzle?
My kids ain't sitting down doing no puzzle.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe they. Oh, okay.
But at what age they typically check out and don't even ask for any puzzles? Around 5 or 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
7. That's the last time I've done a puzzle.
Okay.
And those were 12 pieces, big blocks.
Hey, I just told
we
you.
we got up to 50.
But you know what it is too. I was just caught up with some of it. I liked some of the sceneries at the time that I did that puzzle connected to, because they always had like the Aztec little sceneries or the pyramids, and I would put that together.
So
I did a lot of. Now the ones that sucked was doing pictures that did nights. Any picture that had like a night sky, yeah, those sucked really bad. And they weren't on the border.
So Saeed, Shade,
What's up?
God, I forgot the question just that quick.
It's a puzzle.
I know. I can't remember what the question was. Oh well. All right, guys. That's it. 6 o'clock on the wall, man. I want to say thank you for taking time and rocking with us. You guys have a phenomenal night with purpose.
Blessings.
God bless.